Hello, my name is Tina Jones, and I just wanted to share a few things with you today. I This is my first video, so please bear with me. I just have a heart to want to share my journey with those that may be of interest, and hopefully help someone that might be feeling stuck or not really knowing which way to go or how to even move. Because I've been there and I still struggle. So I have not arrived, but hopefully something that I share can bless you in some way. Um, Share a little bit about myself. I actually have been through some things in life, like many of you have been through, I'm sure. Um, I At a young age, I was actually molested by a male babysitter, about 4 or 5 years old. Um, I've been through many heartaches, relationship wise, family relationships. Um, I've endured my mother passing away from breast cancer, which is why I have a passion to help people with their health, and as well as their emotional health, because I personally have struggled with mental, emotional, and physical health issues as well. And I have also gone through uh, actually being sexually assaulted at the age of 25. And I was coming home from church that night. So it was, us praying for safety, coming home, and for that to occur, I was kind of blindsided, like, okay, so why did this happen? But a lot of times, why we feel stuck or why we feel like we're not moving forward is because we repeat the past, and it may not be in our head, it's a condition of the heart. Um, we may not even realize it. We may feel like, okay, I want to move forward and I feel like I'm making some progress, but I'm hitting a wall. I'm not getting to where I really want to be. Um, I feel a lot of that for me and for those that, I've connected with. A lot of times it's past traumas or past issues in life that hinder us from moving forward. So we have to change not only our mindset, but we also have to change our heart condition. Um, I am a believer in the Bible and biblical principles. So please don't be quick to turn me off. Just hear me out here, because there was a time that I was angry at God for things that happened to me, and um, but I was looking at life through the wrong lens. And there's times that I still look at life through the wrong lens and don't quite get it. And I feel like we're never going to get everything. We're never going to have every duck in a row, and know the answer to everything. But I feel we can come to a place of understanding that we don't have to carry the burden on our own shoulders. There is someone greater who wants to carry that burden for us. So when I talk about how how a lot of times trauma that we face in the past prevents us from moving forward, and not that we're dwelling on it in our head, it's a subconscious issue in our heart that keeps us bound, because we've got walls of protection up, but those walls are in essence keeping us from connecting to our life source. In my my perception is God. Um, and he's the one who wants us to move forward and is longing for us to move forward. But if we can't hear him clearly, then we will feel stuck and we will feel stagnant um, in life. So I'm just going to bring up three scriptures that actually have helped me through this process and are still helping me. The first one is Proverbs 18, verse 21, and it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits." I believe that what's in our heart is going to come out of our mouth. We may have renewed our mind with all these positive affirmations, said, everything that we need to say to renew our mind, to think positive and to be positive and do the right thing. But if our heart is not there, then the change can only happen to a certain extent. We won't find the freedom that we really want until we come to a place of surrender and come to a place of realizing that our heart needs to be healed. And the only way that can be healed is through Jesus. I believe that with my whole heart. I believe that's why I'm still here today, is because he helped me to understand that yes, of course, he never wants bad things to happen to any of us. And there are things that are out of our control. I agree with that 100%. But then there are a lot of things that are in our control. If we would understand that our heart condition can prevent us from being all that God created us to be and having all the good in life that God desires for us to have. So in my life, I struggled with negative thoughts, negative mindset on the world. How I was perceiving the world was more as the glass half empty versus half full. I was seeing, why is all this bad stuff happening in the world? I wasn't looking at the good parts. I was only magnifying the bad parts. I later discovered that is because I have a gift, a restorative gift, which means if you've ever heard of strength finders, I recommend you look into that because it helps you understand your strengths. And a lot of times your strengths become your greatest weakness too if you're living in the basement of your strengths. But anyway, I have a restorative gift. So when you have a strong restorative gift, you see problems, which means I am a problem solver. Well, I wasn't looking at that at a young age. I'm just saying, why? I didn't know I was God's hands and feet to fix those problems. He was empowering me, and he's the one there equipping me to be there and help others. I wasn't looking at that. So, needless to say, these things, my mother's death, of course, was out of my control, but there was things that took place in my life that I shared that I feel did not have to happen had my mindset been right. I would have been able to hear more clearly, no, that's not the right way to go. No, you shouldn't do that. No, wait a minute. Our gut will tell us. There's a lot of times people call it the intuition. I call it God. I call him God. um, he speaks to us because he's our creator. So our intuition, if you want to call it that, our gut will tell us that's not, I don't feel right about this. There's warnings to prevent bad things from happening. So if we are not hearing that, or if we're moving too fast, or if we're, trying to, um, I don't know, if we're just not slowing down enough to be present in moments that we are facing, then we can set ourselves up for uh, issues and problems that did not have to occur. So, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat of its fruit. I spoke words of death. I was not happy with myself. for many, many years. I didn't understand so much of why I struggled like I struggled in school. Yeah, people would not think that because I made good grades, but they didn't see behind the scenes. I had a real good friend. She's still my wonderful friend, Juanita. She was my angel. She helped me through school. I needed her because I felt dumb. I could not understand or grasp the information being presented by the teachers. So I struggled. So I felt, God, why did you make me this way? So that was just one issue. But those negative mindsets, as I meditated on that subconsciously, it may not have been a conscious thing, but just how I felt about myself, that resonated, that created a vibration in me, which attracted negative. You see what I'm saying? So it's a heart condition. Yes, it's a mental issue, but in my personal testimony, it started with, yeah, I went through some things. I got counsel, but I still had issues in my heart that needed to be mended, and only God could do that. And although I was reaching for Him and seeking Him, I didn't realize that I had to yield my will for Him to break those walls down, to penetrate into my heart, to have more access to me, so that He could be more in me and I could be more of who He called me to be, and see life through His eyes versus my own. The next scripture is, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So that kind of piggybacks on death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it shall eat of its fruit. So what you think in your heart is what determines who you are. It's not so much in your head. Yes, it is your head, but your heart, we don't realize. It's like we kind of skim over that scripture where it's like, as a man thinks in his heart, but no, it's in your heart that you're thinking, your gut. You see what I'm saying? That determines the outcome of your life. There's one more scripture I want to share, and it is Matthew 12, verses 33 through 35. A tree is known by its fruit. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For the tree is known by its fruit. And you notice in the Bible, it speaks of producing fruit, and, those that love it shall eat of its fruit. You see what I'm saying? That's out of your heart. You produce fruit. You see what I'm saying? And that fruit either can be partaken of death or of life, you see? And now that I am starting to produce fruit of life, I can share that fruit with others so that they too can have life, and that's what we are to do with one another. We are to share the life that God has given us, as He leads us, because we all have gifts to share, and that gives us life. It's like a give and take. As you give, you receive more life. So it says, he's speaking to some religious leaders that are, kind of condemning him. So he's saying, you brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you're evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if we ever want to know what's going on in our heart, let's pay attention to what's coming out of our mouth on a consistent basis. Are we saying negative things about ourselves, even in our mind? Are we beating ourselves up a lot? Are we really loving ourselves? And the only way to truly love ourselves is to learn how to surrender our heart to the to Jesus, and He in turn will show us how to love ourselves through His love for us. He really loves us. It's not the way that I once thought, that I had to work for His love. He loves us just because He created us. God created us. He sent His Son for us, not because of something we did right. We were we needed Him, and we still need Him. So for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The good person out of his good treasure brings forth good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure brings forth evil. So there's one more scripture, and it speaks of, it's in John, I believe John 15. It says, I am the vine and you are the branches, and we've got to remain in him. And those of you that may be watching that don't know the Lord, I am more than happy to pray with you or even talk to you about, your confusion or your frustration or your anger, because I may not have been through what you've been through or what you're going through, but I have a heart to help those that were, that may be in a place that I was of death and despair. I actually was suicidal at one point in my life, to where I didn't see the point. So I want to be there for those of you that are struggling with, you know, moving forward, and these thoughts of, having God in your life, and the biblical view. So I want to be there and pray, or, just be there to listen, to your concerns. So these are just some quick ways for you to begin moving forward when you feel stuck. And of course, as I mentioned, these are biblical views, and this is what has worked for me. And I believe with my whole heart it will work for anybody. Because God is not a respecter of persons, and he loves us all, and he wants us all to move forward, and he wants us all to get unstuck in our life and be all that he's called us to be. The first thing that I had to do was to slow down. I had to slow down. I had to be still and be present in the moment, and understand that it's not about my performance. It has nothing to do with, you know, me and what I can do and how well I can process information. It had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with my connection to the breath that I breathe. Who's giving me every breath that I breathe? Is it just coming out of nowhere? No. Someone's giving me that breath. So that someone wants me to pay attention to him, because he has something to share with me that's going to help me move forward. So in order for me to move forward, I need to slow down. I need to then be still. And this is through life, when you are, rushing through life, and, not taking time just to sit, practical, just sitting. I know you may have, kids, and you're like, when do I have time? When you go into the restroom, during your shower time, before you go into the shower, just sitting on this toilet seat. You know what I'm saying? Making time to sit and just breathe. And Lord, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you're here, but I need answers, and I want to know, what I'm here for, or how to move forward, whatever those questions are. And then just being quiet and being still in that moment, and being present in that moment, feeling your every breath, just to help your mind to slow down and help you to get from your mind to your heart, your belly area, will help you, tremendously. You may feel like that is so petty and so simple. How could that help me? I am so serious. I didn't feel like it can help me either. That's why it took me so long to even grasp that. I went to so many different counselors, like 3, and they would all say the same thing. So I knew God was telling me to do that, but it didn't make sense. But once I did, and I couldn't even sit still for very long, to be honest with you, because my mind rushes so much. But it's a practice. And it helps, because you can hear him, and you can hear those things that he's wanting to heal you from, and he'll show you how, he'll guide you to the right people. Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful process. But it does take time. But just starting with 1 minute, then going to 2, it's very, 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 very important. The second thing the Lord led me to do was to be thankful. to be thankful for what I have. My child, my husband, the home, the clothes on my back, the food, anything. You may not be in a place that you even have those things, but you have your life. You know what I'm saying? You still are here. There's a reason why you're still here. Be thankful that God, I don't know why I'm going through what I'm going through, but I'm thankful for every breath that I'm breathing. It could be that simple. Being thankful is so important to moving your vibration from low to high. And because God is a high vibration, and you can hear Him more clearly in thankfulness and gratitude. The last thing that He led me to do was clear clutter. It could be people clutter that are pulling you down or keeping you down. It could be clutter in your surroundings. That was mostly me. I have too much stuff, sentimental thinking, what if I need this? I was playing God myself, thinking I'm holding on to this just in case, not realizing that I'm playing God when God could take care of that. He can manifest that when I need it, kind of thing, not holding on to everything. It I didn't realize this, but releasing stuff, people that are not serving you or helping you, you can love them, and I feel you should love them. But if they're not helping you to move forward, it's clutter, and that needs to be released. And God can help you to release those things and to help you clear clutter in your home, in your garage, just letting go of stuff. It makes more room for who God's called you to be and where He wants you to go in life. And all these things bring healing, not just in your mind and in your heart, but in your body. It brings you to a place of freedom, because I'm still going through the process. I've not completely arrived. I feel that none of us will completely arrive until we're called home to be with Him. But I feel the process can be a beautiful thing if we learn to slow down, be still, be present, be thankful, and just letting go and letting God be God in our lives. Thank you so much for watching. Um, I will be making videos. I'm going to hold myself to once a week. I'm Because I really, really feel that God is wanting me to be more present with you here on this platform, and hopefully minister and help, and me also gleaning from you if there's any questions or any insight that you have, because I know I'm still growing and I still need. Um, he's showing me, how to connect with the right people, to get what I need. So I want to be there for you. And I thank you again. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or evening or whatever. Have a wonderful day.